Hello. So today we are talking about packing because we are 21 days out and I have been sick for the last couple of days, and I have to say I'm a little nervous because I'm very planned and I had a lot of things planned to do over the last couple of days and didn't get as much done as I had hoped because I wasn't feeling good. So the one thing it did do though was remind me how important it is when we're packing to also make sure we're covering your prescriptions. So if you're going to be gone for a long period of time, it takes a lot of work to actually get your prescriptions. You have to go to the doctor, get your prescriptions for an extended period of time. They seem to think that you can't get more than 90 days, but you can, at least with Cigna you can. You just have to request an override from Cigna. It was not hard. We didn't have to pull teeth or anything. Each doctor wrote a prescription for a 1-year prescription. And then we called Cigna. Cigna gave an override for that, but then the pharmacy can only do 90 days at a time. So what happens is the pharmacy then gives you 90 days of your year, and then you have to order the next 90 days while you're there. And then the next day you can go up and pick the next 90 days up. So basically you have 4 trips back to the pharmacy to get your entire year's worth of prescriptions. You have to do that all within 1 week because when they do the authorization for the override, it's only a week long. So keep that in mind if you have some prescriptions. I did find too that they weren't willing to do my asthma medication for more than 6 months. So that's something to keep in mind as well. You need to plan then either a trip back to the States to get what you need, or possibly someone can bring it with them, or you just go to the doctor when you're in France or Italy or wherever you are, and possibly get your prescription renewed that way too. So those are some ideas and options, along with, don't forget, if you're on anything special, like I'm on bioidentical hormones that are they're a compound drug made by a compound pharmacy. Those actually have to be obviously ordered as well because it's going to be a little hard to get those in France. They really just don't have that concept there like we do here. They don't really have the same kind of med spa system that we have. And a lot of their drugs do require prescriptions. So keep in mind, if you have a favorite antacid, like we really like the Alka-Seltzer, heartburn and gas chewable pill. It's like our favorite. It works instantaneous for me when I've had a little bit too much to eat or a little indigestion or heartburn, and they do not sell that in France. So I'm a little nervous about that. I'm gonna have to make sure I take plenty. And Imodium, that is something that occasionally I might need when we're traveling, and they don't sell that over the counter in France. You'd actually have to have a prescription, which means you had to go see a doctor. So those are things to keep in mind. Pepto-Bismol, they don't sell that over the counter, or they don't sell it at all. I'm sure they sell something probably similar, but not the same in regards to what you're accustomed to. When you're sick, you kind of want the things that you're used to. They do have Flonase. I did learn they don't have that brand, but they do have a version of that. So there's just things like if there's a certain allergy pill or anything that you take, you might want to do some research, see if they sell it there. If they don't, you might want to get it yourself. So, and take enough for the year. Especially a small pill like a Claritin, you can take 365 of those in a little teeny bottle and have more than enough while you're there. So keep in mind all the things that you might really want when you're in a foreign country if you can't actually buy it there. So other packing things too, a few people have mentioned to me that they wish that they had brought when they first moved to France, Mexican seasoning. I guess they don't seem to have that. At least not like what we're used to, and ranch. They don't have ranch dressing in France. So if that's important to you, it's not to me. I'm not addicted to ranch. It's not my thing. But if it is important to you, then you'll want to make sure that you take some, and maybe then it's just like a treat like you can have on Thanksgiving. You can have it for New Year's Eve, get it for your birthday, but you can make yourself. I would just take the powder and make it there versus trying to take a bottle of it. But you do you, whatever works. But keep those types of things in mind. I'm all about assimilating in a foreign country, but sometimes when you are first getting there, having some of those things that you are happy with and accustomed to at home to make it just feel a little more natural for you. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, and I think it's important that you remember to take those things so that you don't feel too out of sorts. So packing wise, what we have accomplished is we've gotten those prescriptions under control. We're almost done. We have another couple of days of pickups for those. And let me see, we also have all of our swim stuff. We have, oh, I gotta get that second pair. We have 2 pairs of swim trunks for Christopher, 2 swimsuits for me, and then we also have stuff for rain. We have some rain pants, and we have rain jackets, and then we have our On Cloud waterproof sneakers. If you are a lady, I did have to upsize mine by a half size. So keep that in mind if you're buying those. They're great shoes. They're just as comfortable as the regular Ons, but waterproof. I don't think they're necessarily as cute as the regular Ons, but they're not far from it. So they're great to be able to keep your feet dry. You know, I don't use waterproof shoes here per se as much unless I'm going to a Bucks game or UCF game or something. But you know, that's the reason why but when you're traveling and you're out and about, you're not going to get stopped just because it's a day of rain. If you're in Budapest for the day, you're going to want to be in Budapest. So you are going to be in the rain and you are going to want a waterproof shoe. So some people are like, oh, you don't need anything that you don't need in your daily life in America. Well, that's not necessarily true because you're going to be doing different things over there than you do on a daily basis in the United States. So we've got all that packed. We did have to pack a special swimsuit for Christopher as well, because in France, in an indoor pool, even an outdoor pool, but just like in pools in general, I guess. I don't know. We're going to see if this is true or not, but my Facebook research told me, because I have a lot of Facebook groups that I follow for expats, living in France, moving to France, French tax law, immigration, everything. Believe it or not, there's a Facebook page out there, and it's a group of people, and you can talk to, and you can get information from. It's really been incredible. I mean, I use Facebook more for research than I do it for actual social media. But in that one of those Facebook pages, a lot of people were talking about the fact that they do not allow swimsuits for women with sleeves. Oh my gosh, look at my shirt. I'm like, oh, totally out of whack here. They do not allow swimsuits with like sleeves, which I actually like because I'm so fair that I get burnt. So I like a suit that like has a big ruffle or anything that comes down on it. But they don't want anything that could have been worn on the street to be worn into the pool. So they don't encourage like you to wear, you know, your swimsuit with a wrap and then come in and go to the pool. They want, or be outside and go to the pool at the hotel. So they're very picky, and supposedly they don't allow swim trunks that we're accustomed to. They allow like Speedos and then like boy short Speedos. So we did get Christopher some on Amazon just so we could make sure we found some that fit and looked good, which it wasn't hard. He looked great in all of them, I'll say. But anyway, so I'm not sure how he feels about wearing those, but I think when he sees that everyone has them and you have to wear them, then he'll feel a little bit better about it. But I did have to adjust one of my swimsuits because of the sleeve issue, and we had to get him his special little boy shorts for swimming. So little nuances that you might not know about when you go to another country, right? Who knew? We also have packed all of our coats. I think coats are a big deal because most of them, you know, I don't want to buy a coat when I'm over there because they're expensive. And, you know, some of my coats I really like, and I don't get to wear them in Florida very much. So one suitcase, I have one large suitcase, and Christopher has a large suitcase, and it's covering all those things we just talked about. So lots of coats, I don't have my blazers packed yet, but I have all Christopher's blazers packed. So Christopher's blazers are packed, his raincoats are packed, his coats, nice ones and casual, all of his football jerseys, soccer jerseys, football sweatshirts, coats, not all of the ones he owns, but the ones he's taking. We have those ready to go. Those are not in those 2 suitcases. Those are in half of another suitcase. We have all of my like jean jackets, cargo jackets, wool coats, down coats. We have all of our scarves packed, hats packed, and mittens and gloves packed. So I feel good about that. So really we just have 2 large suitcases filled and a half of a small right now. So I think we're doing pretty good, actually. We'll see. If the world spins perfectly and I can have some constraint, we will just have 2 larges, 2 mediums, 2 carry-ons in our small backpacks. That would be the perfect world. We'll see. I'm allowing those other 2 just for an emergency situation. So we'll see how that goes. But packing. So do I have everything explained there? We've got what's packed. We're going to tackle the rest of our clothes. I am going to attempt to do kind of a capsule wardrobe packing. I don't plan on living by a capsule wardrobe, but my thought was if I could take my really good bases that take time to find, like your pants, your black pants, your navy pants, your khaki pants, your jeans, and then a couple skirts, and I figured if I can kind of do that and then do a couple of bases for tops, tank tops, long sleeve, wool base layers, things like that. I don't really want to spend money in France on that. I want to spend money in France on fancy stuff and cool stuff and European stuff that are more of an outer layer, sweater, things like that. Sweaters are hard to pack. They're thick unless you're doing cashmere only, or merino. So I'm probably not going to take a lot of fluffy sweaters, so I'll just buy those there, right? And then the kids are coming a couple of times, so they can I can use them as a pack mule, and they can take some stuff back for us when it's being less, because they're coming in April, May, June. I won't necessarily need sweaters in June, so I can send those back with Sierra and my mom in an extra suitcase, which will be awesome. So think about that when you're packing too, if you're planning on this, like timing wise, when are you making the trip back to the US? When can you swap things out? What do you really need for this 1 year? I think more is more. I'm good with that. I mean, I'm not looking to do carry-on only and travel Europe with a backpack, 2 pairs of, black leggings and a sweatshirt. That's not my style. That's not my thing. If it is for you, that's fine. I'm not judging. It's not going to be me. Christopher takes a lot of pictures, so I need some versatile looks. Otherwise, I'm going to look like I'm wearing the same thing every day. But we're excited about, kind of figuring out. I've been thinking about for 3 years what I'm going to take. Every time I buy something, I'm like, oh, this would be great for Europe. Well, obviously, I can't take everything I've bought for 3 years. There are some actual specialty pieces, too, for like going out that I definitely want to take. I have this great black, like, legging with feathers at the ankles and shirt with feathers on it that I want to take. I have a white sequin dress I've worn several times. It's kind of short that you wear with boots. It has a big black bow in the back. I want to take that. There's just a handful of things that I really want to make sure I have when I'm in Paris for us to go to dinner. I did pack Christopher a red velvet jacket along with my favorite Christmas plaid pants he wears with that jacket. And I did pack him his a Zara coat that's got like oriental print on it. That's really great for him to wear to dinner. It's satin or silk. I think it's actually raw silk. And then he has, I did pack him a black and white plaid suit because you just never know, right? Like we make friends, somebody's getting married, you need a suit, or we're going to go to a fancy dinner and we need a suit. So I do have all that stuff packed for him too. So he's covered. I don't have any shoes other than the 2 waterproof on clouds. I don't have any shoes packed. So that's a little nerve-wracking because shoes are going to take up a lot of space. So I may have to really consolidate that in my mind and buy shoes there, which is hard because I have a lot of boots I really want to take. But we're working on it. So I'll at some point let you know what we end up taking, because you'll see them in our outfits in Paris, and you'll see them when we're traveling and going places. But another little tip I can give you that I think is going to work really well, we're going to be living in about 400 square feet until we get our apartment. So in saying that, with all these suitcases, there's not going to be a lot of room to live, right? So I don't want to have to go through every suitcase to find one thing. So I was very careful that I kept track of absolutely everything that I've packed. If I put it in a packing cube, it says the name of the packing cube, and then there's a number. The packing cube is then numbered, and then that is also noted what suitcase it's packed in and what's in it. So if I'm looking for swimwear, I can go it's in packing cube 14. It's in the gray big suitcase, gray large suitcase. I go to the gray large suitcase, I get it out. I know where it is. Same with scarves, hats, gloves, anything that even if it's in the suitcase, not in a packing cube. So if it's the Christopher suit, it's in the large gray suitcase. All of that is listed in my notes and organized so that I can find everything visually on the list and not have to be opening suitcases and taking things out and finding it and digging it. Plus, we're hoping that we'll move into our actual apartment 3 to 4 weeks after we get there. And when that happens, I don't want to have to try and pack everything in these suitcases again and not know how to get it all to fit. So this way I'll know, okay, these items fit in there when we got here, so they're going to fit in there when we go to the next place. And it's going to simplify everything. So that's really my goal, is to have a system, keep it simple. Keep all my chaos simple, I guess, is the goal. But I'm really excited about the fact that this is actually coming all together. And now I'm starting to feel better. So tomorrow I think I'm going to be able to kick a lot out. And we'll keep you posted. But 21 days and we are on track. Till next time.